platform, right?
Yes, you have
So,
to follow these guidelines or they'll take you down.
Yep. I'm sitting
yeah.
on
So
2 strikes from him, so I'm real close to the edge.
Yeah, 2.5 now.
Yeah, yeah.
He got a half
yeah,
strike because he typed something in a chat on the Communist Clown Network.
I just subscribed to you too, Max.
Awesome.
But
Thank you.
yeah, but listen, I think all of that, is just things that we didn't know yet, right? And we just come to find out, all these social media, have an extension or a fine print. A lot of time we're just trying to, install the app, and get going. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So we don't really, read the fine print, and see, how you can explore the app to the fullest. We kind of explore as we go. So we uncover certain things, in the process. But it's all a part of the platform, that is all about making money. You know what I'm saying? This platform is not as free as we think they are. You
No.
know, so and people will do anything for the money, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
We've
yes. Yeah,
seen
yeah,
or
yeah.
heard.
Yeah.
We've seen people
hi, Chloe. Hi, Joe.
completely change, because of money. We've heard that this before. People sell their soul, for money and fame. So
Yeah.
Over and
as
again. Oh,
the
I'm sorry. I totally agree with you. Yeah. Oh, no. Throughout history, there's always going to be those who take, the 30 shillings, the shills, Yeah. Oh, hold on just a sec.
The thing I noticed about these terms and services agreements, like especially these guidelines, the guidelines are subject to change without notification. So throughout the past several years, they've kept their community guidelines concurrent with current regime's wishes. So it is somewhat politically driven, and I don't know about the whole money. Like they don't really seem to. Money for them is just a printable commodity now, and anybody having trouble, they just dispense more money that way, and it doesn't seem like the monetary system has any validity anymore. Not to them. To us, it's life and death, but to them,
Yeah.
it's nothing.
Yeah. It's our anchor, and they don't need an anchor.
Yeah, that's what is always been. Is always money. Have always been printed. Since we went from gold and silver to the fiat currency. So money, the currency devalued a long time ago. It has no value. Anybody can uh
Adjust
connected to
it.
the Federal Reserve, can just get a large sum of
Oh,
money.
yeah. Today it's worth something. Tomorrow it's not. Today, tomorrow. I mean, just, hey, Angie Groove, thanks for coming up.
Yeah, shout out to Indie Grove.
Hi, Andy.
Yeah, what's going on? I just wanted to add something. If we want to read all these terms of service from like YouTube and we accept that as the gospel, I encourage anybody to go on Google's website and start reading their little about us and our philosophy page and our mission statement. Go read all of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go read all of that and see what they got to say about themselves because it's very interesting
We're
how they
unicorns and butterflies.
Or are they Satan and his minions? Which is it?
Yeah.
yeah, basically.
Yeah. So what do they claim? All rights, all powers.
Well, even better than that, they claim that they take our data very seriously and they take responsibility in making sure it doesn't get misused. Now, how did they explain themselves out of that one? Like we have no recourse when it comes to them saying we violate their terms of service. What about when they violated their mission statement? Google itself.
Yeah,
They got another page. It's called 10 Things We Know. Google. Just read that. It's very interesting. You want
yeah.
to talk about gaslighting?
It's shameful. And this policy I just read, it looks like it was written by first year law school students. It's so vague and nothing. It's just a nothing burger. You anyway.
Well, that's a tactic. That's why all
Yeah.
these times that they get taken to court and sued, they
Yeah.
settle out of court because they know they're giving you a bunch of what we consider like legalese gobbledygook
Yeah,
to fool the people that don't want to even touch it. But if you really press them on it legally, they can't. They have no leg to stand on, especially when they're getting subsidized from the taxpayers on top of being a publicly traded company.
yeah.
When
That
you
makes.
get money from the public, you're bound by certain
Yep.
and they just ignore all that. Nobody's calling them out on it.
Yeah. In the States, that would really make a difference. In Canada, they got us cinched up, but you
Yeah,
guys actually have the Constitution to fight with. All
yeah.
we have is our rights and freedoms, which are subject to being taken away right in the documents. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No.
they're
these
getting.
things, these things are they organizations and stuff like that, corporations. So this is what power is. You know what I'm saying? When you truly have power, can't nobody call you out. You know what I'm saying? On your power because you allow people to, to experience, you know, your power. You know what I'm saying?
oh
So
yeah,
you know, we even to us, right, from ourselves, the things that we stand for, it don't matter if people call us out on it, they ain't gonna make us change because we come to a conclusion. This is what we're gonna stand on. You know
mm,
what I'm saying? So, and take it to the corporation level. This is how they feel. They feel like it's working for them. They stand on it, because it's working for them. If it's not working for them, they're not going to stand on it. They're gonna have to try to find something else. So every time we read about what they got going on, what they put in the news, what they put in the newspapers, what they put in the policies, everything, you know, we basically reinforcing the system by re-adding value. You know what I'm saying to that? Because
mm,
popular, I mean majority rule, right? Majority rule. So if you have 10 people, agree with you, and 2 people, disagree with you ain't going to change for these 2 people, right? Because majority rules.
Well, in America is different because all those Bill of Rights. It's not majority rule. Those Bill of Rights are there to protect the minority against the majority.
yeah.
That's why
That's
those rights are fundamental.
supposed to be a republic, and a republic has standards that it holds to that can't be changed. A democracy, you can have all your rights stripped away by vote, whereas in a republic, you can't.
Yeah.
What you mean? Don't the republic have a voting system?
It does, but it cannot change the Constitution.
Yeah,
It
and just because if a Democrat votes somebody into office, they can't just go and overrun all the rights of the Republicans. That's what the paperwork and the law, the Bill of Rights and all that is supposed to protect. Even if somebody else got in there that you didn't vote for, that doesn't just get, well, I got voted in, I got a mandate, I could just do whatever I want. No, there's fundamental rights that are protected. That's the way it's supposed to be working here, but it's not. We know
like
that.
like in Canada, our rights could be voted away by our government if they so choose. Whereas
Mm.
in the states, because you guys have the Constitution as a republic, that can't be taken.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's
No.
Me,
why.
Mm.
me personally, I think that the right, the Constitution is for the corporation, is not for the people. I personally think that the people wrote the Constitution for the corporations.
supposed to
So
be for
No.
everything,
land. It was supposed to be for landowners in the
so
beginning.
everything, well,
Well, the head of
it was
households.
written,
Yes, there we go. The head of households.
it was
Yeah.
written for. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say there is a clause you can change the Constitution, but you have to have what they call a constitutional Congress. All 50 states, well, 51 actually, if you count Puerto Rico, have to agree on the changes. Though it has to be unanimous. But yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, these
no.
are corporations. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. Like the United States or Canada, even Haiti. These are corporations,
yeah,
right? So the Constitution is for the corporation. It was written by the people, the landowners. That's who wrote the Constitution. It's a business contract. So the Constitution is protecting the corporations. Like it's not protecting the people, right? It's only protect because the corporation is the minority.
No, I do think it was to protect, the general populace out here. It's unfortunate, though, the populace doesn't exercise that muscle, so it's gone weak. That's the only thing. That's the only. No, I think the corporations really hate the Constitution. I think even, what was it, Bush said that pesky little piece of paper or whatever he said. Yeah, no, they
Yeah.
don't like it because it does help us maintain a balance, but it's gone really lopsided because we just got a bunch of sluggy, lazy people, and I've been there off and on myself, not propping up what it's supposed to do.
yeah. If you've
But
got a
that's what.
uniparty, you don't have a chance then, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to say. That for example, if if I wrote you a contract, right? Let's say I got some land, and I wrote you a contract on how to operate on my land, right? I can't try to protect myself on the contract. That's basically a conflict of interest. I have to guarantee you I have to guarantee you that you're gonna be protected, right? I have to guarantee you, the your use of my land. And if I can't guarantee you that, therefore there is no deal, there is no contract. I'm nothing to sign that. You're nothing to sign that contract. You want to make sure that you're protected, right? And be able to fully, use the land for the purpose that you're trying to use it. So,
Well, that's an agreement. Yes, if you have an agreement between two parties, and
right,
you put
that's
it in
well,
writing.
that's what this treaty is about. You know,
But
America.
that implies that both parties are in agreement. Once one party is not in agreement, the contract has no merit to it unless there's something in there where there's shared property that has to be distinguished between the two parties.
Hmm.
Well, if I write the contract, you just have to agree with it, because if I wrote it, obviously, I agree to it. That's what I wrote it. So it's up to now, when I wrote it, I have to write it in a way, for you to agree with it. If there is a conflict of interest in it, you're not going to agree, because
Well,
you're
and if
going
there's
to be
any merit of deception or fraud, even after the fact, if you sign a contract and then after the fact you find out there was fraud involved, that nullifies. It's null and void at that point.
It will
You
certainly go to
cannot trick
court. Yeah.
you cannot trick people into anything.
That's what I'm
That's it.
saying. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying about about the contract when it comes to the Constitution. It's a contract, based on a treaty, like literally based on a treaty. So America went through so many treaties, right? Before they finally, uh, 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 agree, on the one that we have today. Is because it's benefit them and fit. I mean, and it fit the corporation and benefit them the best. So they're going with it. It's up to us, as a people, right, to basically, to uphold.
Refuse refuse to pay our taxes. That would be one.
Hmm.
To refuse to vote. That would be another. These
Yeah,
are all
Well,
things
we
they've made us think that we agree and that we are part of these things, but we're really not. We just get tricked into or coerced Just like in 2020, that was all coercion.
Yeah. And they made corporations into people years ago.
Yeah, that
So
way they can ultimately put all the liability
yeah,
on a nobody, a
yep,
nothing. They can
yep.
blame that.
Well,
Yep.
well, speaking from a native perspective, or speaking from a indigenous perspective, speaking from uh the people of the land perspective, you know, is we is we I did that, right? Speaking from the perspective of the people of the land, I integrate myself into the system, a system that I was supposed to rule, right? But imagine me writing you a contract and then put myself under the contract. That's literally what's happening to us right now as a people. We wrote a contract for the corporation, and then we put ourselves under the contract by integrating with the corporations. That's where we fucked up at. Is I don't think they did anything to us for real. I think we really did that to ourselves. Imagine working, going to work for Walmart and leave there. Like you literally live, in Walmart. Like, so you got it. You basically have to, leave. You basically live under the policy of Walmart. Under Walmart policy, you basically live and you have to abide everything. Just like when you go shopping there, you have to obey and by everything. It's the same thing when you live there. Now it just become your life. So that's what's happening. So back then we had the opportunity to go and and work and do our thing, in the corporation, and still be able to come back where the corporation have no say so in our life whatsoever. But once we integrate with the corporation, we basically hand them our life. Like, okay, our life become a corporation.
Well, when you say basically, like I don't understand what that would mean. Like basically, are you saying like we're implicating ourselves,
Yeah,
or well, then that's
yes,
a choice. I can make a choice. I did work for Walmart, and I decided I'd had enough, and I said, well, I'm out of here, and I walked the fuck out. They escorted me out, actually. You know what I mean? And the paycheck stopped. Well, the fuck Walmart. They have no right over anything else I do for
yeah.
those
Well,
hours.
not if you live there, not if you live in Walmart.
Leave or live? Like living there, you talking
Yeah,
about?
like you live in there, like you
Well,
literally,
you could say that the hours that you work, you're living there. I'll give you that, but you're being compensated.
no, what, listen to what I'm saying. It's two different things I'm saying, right? I'm saying that you can work, you can live in your house and go to work at Walmart, right? And I'm saying, imagine leaving your house, lose or living, abandon your house, and just go and live in Walmart because you think it's closer. You just wake up and get ready. You already at work. For whatever reason, you just abandon your house and start
Mhm.
living there. So I'm saying now the policy apply for your, over your whole life.
I don't
That's
mean
I
what
to.
we
see. So
I don't
did.
you're
mean.
using that as like almost like a microcosm or metaphor for living in America, right?
Right. Or living in a
Okay.
corporation,
Metaphor.
living
Well,
in a
here's the
corporation,
difference, dude.
period.
Here's one difference that I can speak on. Like if I'm included in all these contracts and my America's a corporation and this and that, well, I can tell you, bro, right now I'm not getting compensated. I ain't been getting compensated in a long ass time. So I
Yeah,
ain't bound under nothing, dude.
it's a
Well, you probably
shoddy
haven't. You
contract
probably
somewhere.
haven't filed. You probably haven't filed tax. Your tax
I
every year.
haven't, no, because I haven't made no money in the past 15 years, dude. So where do I fall in that? I'm not under obligation. I shouldn't be obligated under anything.
I want to sidetrack because I see this squirrel sniper, Baron David Ward affidavit. Have any of you guys heard of this? Am I missing something?
Uh-uh.
I'm just curious what that's about. Sorry.
Mm.
No, I've never heard of that.
I'll have
Yeah,
to
I
check
think
it out.
we just, yeah. The reason why we not getting compensated is because, like you said, we don't work. I can't just go and live in Walmart and not actually do the job and expect to get paid just because I live there. It don't make no sense, you know.
Mm.
Well,
So,
what is America without Americans? We are all shareholders of this brand. There's no need for an American military or an American government without American people. So anytime that American brand is used around the world, we are the shareholders of that brand because that is us. And yes, we are not getting compensated for that. That should be the biggest class action lawsuit going on right now. We
Oh,
should be
no, no.
claiming all of our share.
Yeah, no, it's the opposite. We have to
How's that
pay
for a
in.
radical
no,
idea?
we abandon
We have
our
to,
shareholder.
we're
We
paying into the system, daily. Some, when I lived in
Yeah.
Portland, if you had an address, you had to pay a head tax every year, $35, just because you have an address there in Portland. That is the supreme suppression that they tax and charge us to be here when it should be the other way around. And I think Max Vision is on something too with the nodes. They need to pay us because we're walking antennas.
Yep.
but
I mean, I'll
that's
say
what
this.
that's what the original contract was about. That's why I keep saying that we abandon it. The reason why we wrote them the contract was for them to pay us taxes.
Right.
Like they had to pay us taxes to use our land, right? To build the building, the cities, the corporation, period. They had to pay taxes to us. Now that we abandon, our shareholders, right? So we basically not sharing anything with them. We basically, a consumer,
Well,
right?
it's been usurped with this representative government. That's a big part of the problem too, because we have agreed to designate ourselves these representatives who go and do things on our behalf that are not in our best interest, that we are not informed about, that just happen under the cover of darkness and the stroke of a pen. We put us at the losing end. That's why we should be auditing everything right now. And
Yep.
anything that's foul and that a corporation or individuals got what we call, quote, a legal term, ill-gotten gains.
Mm-hmm. And the
Guess
Fed.
where? Guess who that belongs to? Us,
Yeah.
because it
And the
was it was
Fed.
committed by
well,
fraud.
well, listen, it would be a conflict of interest. Like it would literally be a conflict of interest if they had to pay us taxes, right? If they had to pay us taxes whilst they still giving us, a a place to stay, while they still feeding us, while they still doing everything for us, that would be a conflict of interest. So, and for doing all of that for us, they just get to not pay taxes. They just don't, they just don't get they basically don't get to pay taxes because they doing all of that for us. But that's why I'm speaking from a perspective of people owning land. Like if I own land and give you my land, part of my land, to build you a business, right? And then I then start to live in your business, and on top of that, I'm not even working for you. Why should you keep paying me taxes? If I'm basically, if I'm using the thing that
Well,
you paying me
yeah,
for
the
free.
whole government system is just one big parasite. And here I question that we've moved so forward with technology. We're at the point we don't like Indie Groove said, we don't really need a physical representative sitting over there. We can do it all on our computers. We all have our own MAC address, our own license plate. We can read the issues and vote from here. We don't need it, middlemen. This whole country, this whole damn country is nothing
Yeah,
but middlemen, and I get
that's
sick
very
of
it's a
it.
very outdated. That's the first thing we should be changing. That's just based
Yes,
on old paradigms that do not exist no
right.
more.
Back when we
So,
had to
Right.
ride horses to have somebody, of course, we'd have a representative sitting there
right.
because it was days away. But come on, we can all do it differently now. If they can flip hamburgers with a robot, we can vote online. Hi, how you doing, Paula?
I agree with all of that. But I was reminded as I was listening to you guys talk that back when I was first working and had filed my taxes and they were late getting me my damn taxes to me, and I had filed to where I would pay them more to get them to me sooner, and they were taking forever to get them to me. So I went down to the office because you used to get to do that back in the day. And I bitched at him in front of everybody about what the fuck are you doing with my damn money? Why in the fuck you ain't send me my damn check yet? And this cocky bitch let the cat out of the fucking bag. And she said, you know, that's not your money. It's just a loan. A fucking loan. So that is how they really see that. You're not getting half of your taxes back that they stole from you all year. According to them, it's a loan. And what do you have to do with loans? Pay them back.
Yeah, we're
Well,
on a
it's
debt
So,
actually
system.
it is
Yeah.
it's actually happening in reverse. If you had to, if you had to pay work or even having kids, right? And or in a family, you have people depending on you, right? And you spending money, right? That's you giving them a loan. And at the end of the year, you should get all that back, right? Or with even a interest,
Well,
right?
yeah. Technically, yeah. If they're taking money out of your paycheck preemptively for the year towards this future incurred debt, yeah, we should be on it, earning interest on all that money we paid in. And the time it takes them to give us our refund, that should come with interest also, and it doesn't.
Yes, that's why
and
I
they
says
don't give us everything they took from us either.
I
Yeah.
have I have to tell you a little story. The government does run on a debt system, and every so often the interest that it accrues doesn't come in time over the debt that has to go out. The payments that have to go out. So what they do, this is a secret, but it's not. Once a year, usually in the military, they will have us skip a paycheck for like 3 or 5 days while they accrue interest
Yeah.
on their little oopsie and then they pay us. See, there's ways to
Hey,
cook the books.
you know who else does that? I just had a prime example. Unclaimed property divisions. I had a check that I wrote. This was back in 2011 for a solar energy class I took, and they never cashed the check. The bank at first tried to send me a letter, said, "Hey, we had a return check. If this is fraud, let us know." I never responded on purpose because it wasn't fraud. It took them 10 years to report that check to unclaimed property. The bank held that $1,000 check for over 10 years and made interest on top of that for 10 years. And when I got my money back, it was for the amount of the check that I wrote, no interest. That's exactly what they
Well,
did. They
look,
held it on purpose as money in their possession that they gained, loaned out, did all kind of interest based financial product and on my behalf. And I got nothing. I got what I originally wrote the check for 10 years ago.
well,
Yeah.
They
look,
did. It took them 10 years to give
look.
me my money back.
That's
Even the
messed up.
court, even the court system, right, showed you that if you're able to get the judge to abandon, you know, his or her seat, you can do whatever you want to do. You could literally walk out, the courthouse. You could stay in there, you could do whatever you want to do because ain't no judge in there. This is what abandonment cause.
Yeah, that's
Abandonment give you, you know give the person, that was being held accountable to do whatever they want to do.
yeah,
So this
I
is
have
why these corporations do whatever they want to do, because we have abandoned our seat of royalty.
well, of
We
course,
have
that's why I said
abandoned.
people are lazy. They won't get up and you gotta give some muscle to your rights or they'll go away simply. And you brought up something in the court system that I find interesting. Speaking of internet, more and more preliminary court hearings and arraignments, you know what I'm saying, now are done virtually. You can sit at your house and the judge and your lawyer and everybody just comes on like we're talking now. So the day of the courtroom may be going away for your safety.
Yeah.
So
Well, if you go to
how
their
do
courtroom, you're under their jurisdiction. If you're not in their courtroom, guess what? You're not in their jurisdiction.
Oh no, no,
Yeah,
they
but
rewrote the
even
rules.
if you in
They're
even if
gonna
you in the
rewrite. Are you
courtroom,
kidding?
even
Well, I
if you're
do
in the
think it's a funny
Laws
courtroom,
and
gray area.
rules change all the time.
even if you're in the courtroom, if there is no judge in there, you're free to go.
Well,
You're not under. You
yeah,
basically
I've
under
seen a
your
few
own law.
people try to run, and that don't work for very long. Depends what you're in there for.
Well,
Yeah,
if
it
the
does.
judge in there, you can't get away because the judge gonna tell the guards what to do. But if the judge left,
No,
the
it doesn't
guard.
work that way. No, yeah, no, if you're, yeah, no, it don't
The
work that
burden of
way.
proof falls on the claimant. So if somebody makes a claimant, they're the ones that are tasked with they have to prove their claim.
Right, right. You have to prove the guilt.
Yeah. So that's really the biggest weapon that we all got against any tyranny is the fact that the burden of proof falls on the claimant. So they know where the line's at, and they don't know how far they can push it without being able to legally. If you want to use legally as the backing, which they do, because they use a totally different dictionary for their wording than we do.
Yes, they
You know
do.
what I
Oh my
mean?
God.
So
Isn't it called Black's Book of
Black's
Law
law, Black's law
Black's
dictionary.
Law?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you saying that you saying that if I get the judge to abandon the courtroom, I'm still under their jurisdiction.
Well, it depends what you're there for. If you're there for a traffic ticket, I don't think they'll get you later one way or another driving down the road. But if you're there for something serious, you're not going to go too far, regardless of who's in that room at the moment.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
can't
like
use it for something else, but you can't get locked up for the same crime twice
Oh no,
unless you did it
well,
twice.
if you run, you've got a whole new charge against you. So that's
But
another
that there
crime
is a difference
altogether.
between running and leaving.
it
If I'm
depends on the
running, I'm
offense.
trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't go for
Because
that.
if any of us are just driving through some little backwoods town in Texas, right, and we do get one of those speeding tickets, we might just be passing through, and as long as we don't ever go back there and get pulled over, they can't come extradite you
No.
from another state or something, for a civil offense. That's a civil offense. Now, if it's a criminal, where you have an actual victim and this sort of thing, then yeah, they could extradite you for that on behalf of the victim who may have jurisdiction in that particular area. But yeah, there's a lot of gray blurring of the lines that happens there, and a lot of implied authorities that don't exist when you really get down to it.
Yeah, you can dance
Yeah, like
around
the
a lot of
judge.
that little stuff.
Like the judge, all of that, is something that we put ourselves under, and they're going to see. Okay, since you act like you understand, that's why they keep asking you understand. Are you standing under what they're saying? As long as you keep, showing them that okay, you're going to stand under what they're saying, then okay, they're going to take you how far, however far they want to take you. But once from the jump, you letting them know that you don't understand what they're saying. None of that.
Yeah, if you don't
And you
understand the
start
language they're speaking, that's what I say. I do not
and you start
understand the language.
and you
Well, once
start
you
telling
once you
them,
agree to be linked to the corporate entity, isn't that when they've got you?
say that again.
Once you agree to be linked to the corporate entity with your name on it in bold, doesn't that pretty much put you in their court?
Yeah,
I think so.
once you agree, you the all cap name on
Yeah.
on the paper, and they're going to say, okay, how okay, we got him right there. He said he's that person, so let's go, let's continue. But at any time, you could challenge their jurisdiction at any time in the court, right?
Hmm.
You could challenge their jurisdiction, and when you challenging their jurisdiction, is you and the judge, and at some point, if you do, what you're supposed to do the right way, the judge would just get up and leave the courtroom, literally.
Hmm.
Won't tell you nothing. Won't tell nobody nothing. They would just leave the courtroom. And you free. It's like getting pulled over and the cops just get in his car and leave. What you gonna do? You gonna stand right there? You gonna stay right there?
Yeah, I've watched a lot of that sovereign citizen stuff, and there's degrees where it could work, but in a lot of ways, I just see them agitating the police with it, and then they end up getting more tickets.
Well,
You
that's
know,
the police. That's why I say it's not the police is
well,
just
even
they just
a,
doing their job. They will
you
tell you,
can, well, they'll
they will
let
tell
you
you,
represent yourself in court if that's what you want to do. Most lawyers won't touch the sovereign citizen thing now in court. You'll have to go by yourself
yeah,
because you're being
exactly.
sovereign. You know, you're outside of their
Sovereign mean that
system. But
sovereign mean that you don't follow their rules. You don't go, you're not under the system. You have to show them that though. You can't just tell them that. Like you that's something that has
right,
to be proven.
right, it depends on what you're. But warrants can follow you. It just depends on how serious it is, or yeah, you can get pulled over, and they always, that's why they want your ID all the time, because a lot of people just blow things off and they get pulled in for a warrant.
Well, not the cops. Listen, I'm not telling you to go and with the cops and tell them you're a sovereign citizen and all that. They just go and look at you and like, yeah, man, go ahead, put your hand behind your back. Anything you
Yeah,
do,
pretty much. It's
like,
like,
and
okay,
they will literally
we're done
tell
with
you
you,
that.
lady,
They
stop it.
will literally tell you too that they doing their job. They just doing the job.
Oh yeah,
You
they
you
are.
you you most likely get a chance, get a pass from a sergeant, from a yeah, from a
Right,
supervisor,
right.
instead, from the regular cops. That's why the people that know when they get stopped, they ask to speak to a supervisor. And if the supervisor ain't going with it, they don't even waste their time. They gotta go and face the judge. And once you face the judge and you challenge their jurisdiction, like it's nothing the cops can do against you. Like literally, it's nothing. That's why all they can do is bring you in front of the judge. Literally, that's all they could do. And that's their job, is to bring you in front of the judge. So they will tell you that, listen, man, hey man, I hear what you're saying, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just doing my job. Like they will literally tell you that. And you're gonna have to prove that in court. Because that's how they can't just stop doing their job because of your word, because of what you say, right? They gotta do their
Well,
job regardless. So it's up to you to do your job and prove that you're not under the rules. But like
yeah. Well, you
speaking
know
from
what?
the
I'm kind of in a position
courtroom.
where I don't worry about it because I've kind, I dance the line, of how to get along in life. I don't feel like I'm going to be in front of a judge anytime soon. So, but I
Well, I
get,
think the thing that most people engage in that keeps them locked into the system is that whole having a driver's license and complying with those rules. Those would be the
yeah,
one thing I could tell
it,
you, because I'm not on that right now. I am in all senses of the word. I am a sovereign citizen. I'm not in. I have an expired driver's license. I do not drive on the roads. I don't have a employee. I don't have income. Therefore, I'm not bound by any income tax. The only thing saving me and my land and everything is because I fall under the homestead exemption, and thank God for that, because that's the only thing protecting me right now from being invaded
Well, me
financially or
personally, I
legally.
got locked up like for like probably 6 months ago, and I got out free. Like I got out for free. My bonds was like, I think, $25,000. And when I went to the hearing, I challenged, the judge, you know, and asked them, do they believe in the Bible, right? And they say yes. So I literally told them that, okay, then so you should let me go because I'm free. Jesus already paid for all my debt, right? And the judge was laughing. That was the camp. That was the on the screen. I wasn't really in the inside of the courtroom. So I'm like, okay, you know, I'm going to see what's gonna happen when I'm inside of the courtroom, right? And when my next day, remember, I was in jail. Like it's not like I was outside. I got locked up. So now when my actual court date come up for me to go to court, you know, they basically took me to the holding place, right, where they hold you and before you go to the court, right? And then they took everybody else, out. They took everybody one by one and go, and they never came and got me. When after they took the last person, when the last person come back, there was a lawyer, a public defender that came and told me that, look, I'm not supposed to tell you that, but your case is being dismissed. You're free to go. And they just took me to my room, to back to my cell, right? And they, tell me pack my stuff, and I'm home. Like, I don't have no warrant, nothing for that.
I went through a similar thing where I showed up to court, and the guy asked me in preliminary. He said, "Well, uh, what do you plan to do about this?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to fight it." And as soon as I said that, he had paperwork on the side where he's like, "Okay, well, if you just agree to this restitution and do this online court." So he did that in a room away from everybody else. He didn't want everybody else in the courtroom that had court that day to see that.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he heard that I was going to be fighting my case and not just going along to get along and being subject to whatever they wanted to do, he knew right then and there what he was going to offer me. And as soon as I said the magic words, he pulled it out and he gave it to me. Because they knew from the beginning that they were already in the wrong, because that's why I was going to fight it. So yeah, they do that they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah,
And if
but
you're
listen,
smart
all
enough,
that having paperwork don't apply to you. Paperwork only apply to your straw man.
Oh yeah,
Paperwork,
no, it's the anchors they hold us down with is all the words on paper. I
but
totally agree.
it's because we
But
choose we go ahead.
well, see, that was part of my show originally today when I was starting out talking about the policy guidelines. It's just so vague. They can make up anything in between. And our we all know the system. It's two-tiered and it's sucky. You know, the best thing I could advise people to do is just, really watch how you move through life and avoid it if you can.
Yeah, the thing about it, you can't be the middleman. If you're the middleman, right?
Well, no,
You
because that's
basically
why I
you
keep saying
base
America is nothing but a middleman, and don't you get in way of their job. Because,
right. So you can't
yeah,
be
yeah,
the middleman. You either, right, your own judge, you're ruled over yourself, or you're being ruled under,
yeah,
something. So this is why when you go to court, you have to assume, you have to take charge of your strawman. Period. That's not me, but that's my business, right? That's just something I used to do business with, right? So you can, people, they can go and locked up and Walmart up. They can't go and locked up, the state, right? But yet you still be having a case against you, right? The state versus this, the state, the city, of
well, they
whatever.
say the
Against
people,
the
the
person.
people of. That's how they
So
word it.
yeah, or sometimes, most of the time, I've seen the state literally. They tell me, the state against me, or the city, of such of whatever state against me. So the city is the corporation with having a representative. So I'm here as as a representative for my corporations, for my strawman.
yeah,
But you cannot
yeah.
present yourself as the strawman. If you
Right,
present
right,
yourself as the
right.
strawman, right?
No,
Who?
Naga. No, I
Go
totally get all of that. I really do. I have followed a lot of channels on all of this, and like I said, it's just a really sucky system. And you do.
Well, and
You
it
have.
just well, I was going to throw this in there, like a jury of our peers, as they say, right?
hmm
How can you even prove that's a jury of my peers? Well, if you wanted to challenge that, you probably could, and you could probably win that case.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
I'm
need a
odd
bunch of
enough.
disabled people that are being denied their disability checks because their medical records have been put all over the place by the government itself, and those would be a jury of my peers.
Yeah, whatever the case may be, and
Yeah.
Couldn't you just say I have no peers? There's nobody as
yeah,
good as me, so there's nobody that can judge me except for Jesus.
Yeah,
yeah,
literally. And that right there too will get you away too, because they believe in the Bible. So they believe, only Jesus or God is the judge. Only God can judge you. So they have to right there in the courtroom on the record, right? They probably just walk out because they don't want to put nothing on the record that's can be used against them.
Well, that yes, that is part of it, and that's what makes a good lawyer a good lawyer. He can make an argument, a legal argument in any case setting. They can do that because yeah, if they do put it down as precedent, then it becomes law that other people can use, and that's why they will dismiss your case and not judge on it. They
Yeah,
make a judgment. Yeah,
you get a good lawyer and pay a lot of money. You get out of anything. You get out
yeah.
of
Look at
anything
OJ.
because
Look at
every charge have a price. This is why when they lock you up, you have a bond. Literally, every charge, every single one have a price. So you pay your lawyer good enough, he will get you out of that. But at the end of the day, you don't have to pay no money because you only paying for the lawyer. You could just say everything that the lawyer was going to say and get out yourself. Because if you when you go to court, the
well,
lawyer going to represent you as the straw
yeah.
man
You just have
because
to choose your words very wisely at that
you
point.
now become the corporation, the strawman. Once you have a lawyer, you now become the strawman. That's why most of the time they want you to get a lawyer. If you don't get a lawyer, they will give you one, and you have to reject that one too. Like, no, I don't need no public defender. You know what I'm saying? So once you reject you getting your own lawyer or getting a public defender, because that's what literally what I did. You know, you now the jury of your own straw man. So you just have to know that and let them know that, look, I'm here to represent my straw man. This is not me, right? This is something I do business with. This is proof that I have a business. So I'm
Well,
here
that's
to do. Go
and I
ahead.
think that's why they push that whole corporations are people so much because the
Yeah, because if
corporation
you
is
don't know,
yeah.
yeah, if you don't know, then they could use it against you for their own, because like I said, they could do whatever they want if you allow them to, because they don't have nobody checking them. Ain't nobody pulling their ears and like, hold on, you can't do that. Now you don't have a contract with me no more, right? Like how when you open a business, you have to follow certain guideline, and if you don't, they will close your business. It's the same thing with the corporation. They don't have nobody that could just come and shut down their corporation because we abandon our seat of royalty. So since we do that, we have to show them individually, right? Since we did that as a collective, we have to show them individually, that what I'm saying, we still our own authority. We still the jury. We not under their jurisdiction, but everything in court have to be proved.
Well, it's like the thing about the birth certificate. That's a big thing. Everybody says, well, you're you're under contract because of your birth certificate. Well, that's not a contract that I entered into. I did not sign to be a part of that. Plus, I was under the age of 18. I couldn't legally consent to a contract. So even that, if we fought that at the very base level, that's the problem. See, we skip over the initial um, infractions, and then we just end up arguing things that are further down the line than if we go back to the source and argue it from that point of view. Then
Well,
all these other points become moot.
that right there gonna show them that you not you not your own authority. You don't have authority over you know yourself. You basically you're a minor, and you need somebody to consult you, right? By talking like that, because like I could have a business. I could literally set up a business, for my kids right now,
Hey,
or
I
I
don't
could
mean
set
to
up.
interrupt, but I'm going to have to take the stream down.
Mm,
It's getting time for me to jump off of here and do things.
Okay.
all right, all
Yeah,
right. So
I just wanted to, when I came up, I just want to, if we're going to read these terms of service, then do yourself a favor and also go read Google's own website and read their mission statement and see all the things that they are, quote, in their own words, taking responsibility of, and what they assume it says on there that, and these are their words, you trust us. That's what it said. You trust us with our data, with your data, and our responsibility for your data. Well, I don't. I don't trust them.
No, it's too vague. That's why I was reading this at the beginning of the show. Yeah, it was written by first year law students, and then they can put all the blame on them. Oh, that was so vague. Yeah, it's crazy how they just bamboozle us. Unbelievable. But hey, thanks
Yeah.
everybody for coming up. And
Yeah.
Let me just say this very
Yeah.
quick.
Thanks.
I'm gonna
yeah,
just
no, I'm
go.
going to tie up the show, Naga. Thanks so much for coming up. I'm going to take her down. I've got some things knocking at my door here, actually. So,
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So,
Until next time.
I,
yeah,
yeah, I'm
see you
going.
cheers.
next time. Cheers.
Peace, everybody. Have a great one.